What up? We are in effect this evening. We are live. We do have some pro basketball going on tonight. Pro playoff basketball. Those two things are not the same. Yo, those two things are not the same. So, pro basketball and pro playoff basketball are way different. Intensity is different. Level of competition is different. Schemes are different. Coaching is different. It's all different. Not the same. And in this particular situation, we are definitely getting our money's worth. Let me tell you, because it's not what I expected, but it's also what I expected too. And it's been fantastic. It's been everything that I thought it was going to be. Everything. So I'm here for it. 100% I'm here for it. And I love it. So I think that it's necessary it's important to mention, man, that this stuff here is just, it's the talk of legends. You have a Minnesota team, right? You have a Minnesota team that's not, according to the masses, they're not there yet, but they're the same team that can actually challenge, who I thought could actually challenge the Denver Nuggets for the West Finals, for the Western Conference Championship. They're the only team in the West that I honestly thought could challenge them. There is nobody else that I thought could challenge the Denver Nuggets in the Western Conference except Minnesota. And here we have a game 7 that we're going to. And how did we get to this game 7? Right? How did we exactly get to this game 7? Well, we got to this game 7 from adjustments, great coaching, these guys playing great. All of these things factored in. All of these things factored in when you're talking about how we got to game 7. When you have a staple, when you have something that you can count on, that's what the great ones do. It's called consistency. This is what I do. You can be great at being bad. You can do that. Like, a lot of people won't accept that, but you could definitely be great at being bad. No doubt about that. Jalen Brunson is not better than Jason Tatum. I'm tired of listening to you dudes with this. No, he is not. He's playing great, okay? Let's get to the bottom of something really quickly. Jalen Brunson is playing great, and I will not argue that. He is not better than Jason Tatum. And if you think that he's better than Jason Tatum, you are getting fired as a GM. 100% you are. You can be playing great and playing better than somebody at a particular time. That does not mean that you're a better player. And if you think that Jalen Brunson is the best player or better than Jason Tatum as a GM, you're getting fired. I'm telling you this to your face. Trade Jason Tatum, trade Jalen Brunson for Jason Tatum then. If you think that Jalen Brunson is better than Jason Tatum, if you think that he's better, trade for him. You're getting fired. I'm telling you that right now. But I digress. I absolutely digress. As I was saying, when we talk about the great ones, we talk about consistency. That's what we talk about mostly. That's what we talk about mostly. In Arrington, as a fan, I'm telling you right now to your face, you're getting fired. You are getting fired. I'm not saying that you're getting fired next week. I'm not saying that you're getting fired at the end of the season. You're getting fired today. Pack up your things and get out. You're not even getting the check from HR. They'll mail you your check. You're getting fired. I'm telling you that to your face. There is nobody that's sane and rational that's trading Jason Tatum for Jalen Brunson straight up and keeping their job. Nobody's doing that. You are a prisoner of the moment, and you're probably a Knicks fan, which I got no problem with that. But if you do that, I can tell you to your face, you're getting fired. Now, where was I? Like I was saying, the mark of a great player and the mark of a great team is consistency. You can be consistent and be great at being bad. You can be consistent at doing something wrong. You can be consistent at doing something great. But if you're consistent, that's what makes you great. Even if it means being bad at something. You're great at sucking at this, right? You're great at it. But you're also great at rebounding. You're great at defense. So since we're on the subject of defense, the Minnesota Timberwolves have something that they've been consistent at all year long, and something that travels. Not everything travels. Scoring doesn't always travel. Coaching doesn't always travel. There are things that don't always travel. Not necessarily role players. Rotation players don't always travel, right? They don't always travel. So with that being said, right? With that being said, sorry, Tony, I'm already on, Tony. I'm already on, Tony. Sorry. Rotation guys don't always travel. Offense doesn't always travel. Your defense does. Because that's something that stays consistent. Rotations stay consistent. Blocking out stays consistent. Rebounding stays consistent. All of these things stay consistent. And because they stay consistent, that's why they're great at them. And Minnesota has been the number one defense in the league. They've been the number one defense in the league for the entire season. There have been some teams that have been close. There have been some teams that have also been good. But the one consistent that the Minnesota Timberwolves have had, and I can tell you right now, their offense hasn't been great. We saw that in games 3 and in games 4. We saw that in games 3 and in game 4. We saw that already. But you know what we did see in game 5? You know what we did see in game 6? You know what we did see in games 1 and games 2? We saw defense. That's what we saw. Last night was the 4th time this season that Minnesota has held Denver under 100 points. The 4th time this year that they've done that. This is their record against them when they hold them under 100. Yes, this is their record against them. Now, to Max 456, for Max 456, who says that they're better, the Wolves are better without Rudy Gobert, you are another one. You're getting fired as a GM, my man. So sit Rudy Gobert. Sit him. Don't just sit him in this series. Sit him, period. And see how far you get without him. Because he already alluded to it when he got the Defensive Player of the Year. He already did that. He alluded to it when he won the Defensive Player of the Year. When Cat is sitting right behind him, when he said, quote, "You guys don't need me after beating them the way that you did." And this was, and I believe this was after game 2, after they beat them. And Rudy said, "Yeah, you guys don't need me anymore." And Cat looked at him like, "Are you crazy? Are you serious? There's no way that you think that we don't need you." So again, Max, I'm asking you, don't just, I'm imploring you, don't just sit him in this series, sit him for the rest of the playoffs. Matter of fact, trade him. Trade him. Get rid of him. Don't play him in this series. Take his rim protection off the floor. Not just take his rim protection. Take his rim protection off the floor. Take his paint presence off the floor. Take his rebounding off the floor. You don't need him in this series. The best defensive player on your team, you don't need him in this series, and see how far you go. Let's see how far you go. Because I'm 100% confident I saw them go up against a great individual offensive team in Phoenix, shut the door on them. I also saw them yesterday hold this Denver team to what they held them to with him on the floor. But That's neither here nor there. Consistency is the key here. That is the key. What Denver did was they matched the physicality. That's what got them back in the series. And what Minnesota didn't do, Minnesota didn't deal with the stuff that was going on previous to this series, which was Minnesota didn't do the stuff that was rearing its ugly head previous to this series, which was going on all season. They get great action. They don't get good action. They run great plays. The problem is that when they get into games where we get into the last 6-7 minutes, like Ant wasn't knocking down the long ball the way he's knocking down the long ball now. Cat wasn't doing what he's doing now. The action that they get running double dribble handoffs, running pick and dives, running slips, they were doing that all season. The problem was that the shots that they were getting wasn't the problem. It was converting on those shots. That was the biggest issue. And when they convert on that stuff, like what you saw, not just last night, what you saw in game 2, what you saw in game 1, what you saw against the Phoenix Suns, when they convert on that stuff, plus how they play defense, they're pretty impossible to beat. Anthony Edwards said it best. As good as Anthony Edwards is, as good of the defensive force, as good of the defensive force that Rudy is, and that Jaden McDaniels is becoming, the vet presence that Mike Conley is. Anthony Edwards said it best. Cat, when you're on the floor, we win. Stop fouling. When you on the floor, we win. It's that simple. When you're off the floor, we have a difficult time. We have a way more difficult time. When you are on the floor, we win. And last night was evidence of that. The Phoenix series was also evidence of that. The Phoenix series was evidence of that. Last night was evidence of that. The first 2 games are evidence of that. And I don't like the fact that we got 2 days in between. I don't like that. That game last night, game 7 should be tomorrow night. Game 7 should 100% be tomorrow night. Well, we got to wait 2 days. Because what that does is now that gives them Minnesota, Denver, that gives them, even though Minnesota with Ant, when you're 22, you can bounce off the floor like it's nothing. That also gives Denver some of the momentum. If we get to go to Denver the way we handled them last night, if we get to go to Denver tomorrow night, the way we're ready to rock and roll, I like their chances a lot better. I still like Denver. I still like Minnesota in game 7. I still do. I said that before the series started. I felt like the longer this thing went on, the better I felt about Minnesota. I felt like their defense would wear on Denver, and it has. It clearly has. Jamal Murray doesn't have that burst coming off those dribble handoffs. He doesn't have that coming off those screens. I will not disregard how Anthony Edwards has, 1, taken on the assignment, and 2, boxed up Jamal Murray. Straight boxed him up. Physical with him, on his hip, challenging almost every shot. He gets open looks. But I think the fact that he doesn't make those open looks, I don't think that that's just him not making shots. I think it's a psychological thing. I think it's like anything else when you're talking about a ball player. I'm now looking over my shoulder. I'm now wondering where you are, especially when you're always there. When you're always there, when I don't see you, it's not, I'm going to make this shot and now I'm wide open. No, it's not that at all. It's more like, where is he? And now that kind of throws my rhythm off. In addition to throwing my rhythm off, it throws my crew's rhythm off. So I think Jaden McDaniels gave us the game that we needed. Denver's made a conscious effort to leave him open. That wasn't just last night, just so you guys know. They made a conscious effort throughout the series to leave him open. He's gotten a bunch. He's gotten a bunch of different wide open looks. A bunch of them. He converted on a lot of them last night. He converted on a few of them throughout the series, but last night in particular, he knocked down a lot of open shots. Knocked down a lot of open shots. Now, come Sunday, I think the game plan kind of goes out the window because the one thing that I found out watching the NBA for all the years that I watched the NBA, there's very little adjustments that we're going to make in Game 7. We've probably seen everything. I don't think that we've seen anything different. We're not going to see anything different. I said this earlier today that I saw Jason Kidd in Game 7 against Phoenix in 22. He started pushing Chris Paul left. He was pushing Chris Paul left throughout the course of the series, but he made a conscious effort to do it even more in Game 7. I felt like they trapped Devin Booker in the short corner because Devin Booker is too smart to go all the way to the corner. So they would trap him in the short corner. We all know how good Devin Booker is passing out of double teams, especially 2 years ago. I think he was in the top 3 in the league in turnovers when he was getting doubled. So because of that, that was a minor adjustment, but it became major. I could see Minnesota, some of their rotation guys really helping. I could also see Denver. I could see their rotation guys like Peyton Watson. But the one of the things that I recognize about a Game 7 that cannot be denied, the best players have to be the best player. They have to be. That's what Game 7 is for. I can't just rely on my rotation guys. No. Mm-mm. In the pregame, there's some people, the pregame speech, there's some people in this locker room, I can tell you right now, there's some people in this locker room that ain't sure that they want to be here. Game 7 is a big deal. Game 7 is going to change some lives. And there's some people in this locker room tonight or this afternoon, whatever time the game is, there's some people in this locker room that ain't sure that they want to be here because this is a pretty big deal. There's also some people in this locker room. And by the way, we're going to find out who those people are. We're going to find out who those people are who aren't sure if they want to be here. But there's also some people in this locker room that can't imagine being nowhere else. They can't imagine it. There's nowhere else that they would rather be than right here. And for those people who can't imagine being nowhere else, it's up to you to get with those guys that ain't sure if they want to be here and let them know all I need you to do is roll with. Ain't nobody going to push us around. Nobody's going to punk us. Nobody's going to do any of those things to us. I just need you to roll with me. That's it. And if I can get that from you, we got a chance. Because don't think for 1 second that there aren't some people who aren't sure if they want to be here. I 100% remember Doug Christie saying when the Sacramento Kings win in the overtime with the Lakers in Game 7 of the 2002 West Finals. His exact quote was, "I have never been more scared in my whole life." That's somebody that ain't sure if they want to be here. The problem is that they got a leader. They got a leader in Chris Webber who also ain't with the drama. Meanwhile, the Lakers got a dude. They got 2 dudes. They don't have one guy. They got 2 of them that's looking at the group going, come on, I got you. Come on. Just come on. Don't worry. Just come. Just, I ain't asking you to be Superman. Just come with me. That's it. Just come with me. That's going to be the scene come Sunday night, come Sunday afternoon. Who is that guy? Is it Anthony Edwards? Yo, just come with me. I just need you to come with me because I feel like he's with the drama. Not a lot of guys that's with the drama. He's with the drama. He is definitely with the drama. Joker is with the drama. Jamal Murray has proven in the past. The last game 7 we saw him in, what was the last game 7 we saw him in? Last game 7 we saw him in, I think it was in the bubble. They beat the Clippers. They came back. They came back from being down 3-1 to the Jazz. And they did it again when they beat the Clippers. He has proven in game 7, he with the drama. I'm down. I'll do it. This Minnesota team with the vets that they have, Mike Conley, Rudy Gobert, Cat, they have to prove that as your leader, I'm with the drama too. Because if you don't remember anything, remember this. When your crew is confident, they're confident because of their leader. That's the only reason why we go as far as we go. If my leader falls apart, we fall apart. There's a reason why the Bulls were what they were. There's a reason why the Pistons were what they were. There's a reason why the Houston Rockets were what they were. There's a reason why the Lakers were what they were. There's a reason why the Celtics were what they were. There's a reason why the Heat. There's a reason why the Cavs. There's a reason why the Golden State Warriors were what they were. Because they were confident in their leader. If I'm confident in my leader, then I'm with it. So with it. Game 7 is going to be awesome. I think a lot of the quote unquote schemes, I think a lot of that stuff goes out the window. I don't think we're talking about that. And the reason why, right? And the reason why is because I think we've seen everything. I don't think that there's much that you could throw at me. Your man-to-man action, your zone, which you could try to throw a zone at us because that hasn't been played much. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw that from Denver to maybe throw a zone at them. Sure. That would not surprise me at all if they threw a zone at just a minor kink, just a minor adjustment, which could be huge because they haven't played much zone in this series. I don't recall the Denver Nuggets playing a lot of zone. A lot of switching, a lot of hedging, a lot of one-on-one coverage. I don't recall a lot of zone. I don't. But with that being said, that could be a wrinkle that they throw in this. And we're gonna find out, right? We're gonna find out really quickly who wants to be here and who doesn't. Who is with the drama and who ain't? We're going to find that out. And like I said, I picked Minnesota in 7. I'm sticking with that. I think the Knicks lose tonight. And the reason why I think the Knicks lose tonight is because it's great for the NBA. I think they come back to Madison Square Garden for Game 7, and there's no way. I don't like to use I don't like to say never. I don't like to say never, right? I'm not a never guy because saying never means a lot. I don't like to say never. But I can tell you right now, I doubt very seriously that the New York Knicks are letting the Indiana Pacers out of Madison Square Garden on Monday with a win. I don't see it. I don't. I just don't see it. I don't think there's any way that they let them out of New York with a winning Game 7. I don't see it. They as of right now, this Knicks team is working on a shoestring budget. They've been depleted for the majority of this series, and it's been going on. I think OG Anunoby is out for the playoffs, to be quite honest with you. I don't think he's out for this series. A hamstring injury is something that you can't really deal with rehab. I just can't do anything. There's not much that I could do with a hamstring injury except chill. That's it. Just hang out. There's not much else that I can do with it. So with that being said, the same way I feel about Porzingis, the same way I feel about Porzingis is the same way I feel about OG Anunoby. I personally think Porzingis is done for the playoffs. But the fact that they handled Cleveland the way that they handled them gives him more time to rest. He is making progress. But a strained calf is like a 3 to 5. I think it's like 3 weeks, 3 to 5 weeks. That's the playoffs. That is the playoffs. And I don't think for 1 second that if he was close, we wouldn't know about it. I don't think he's close. I don't. I think Brunson has been playing fantastic. He's been great in these playoffs. He's stepped up his game. He's been an impossible one-on-one guy. He's become a lot better as a passer. I was real critical of him. As a passer, I didn't really think that he could pass. I take that back. I didn't think that he would pass. I didn't think he was a willing passer. I actually had this conversation, right? I had this conversation with some people about him being a willing passer. And with that being said, there's a difference between being a passer and a willing passer. And I didn't think that he was a willing passer. I thought he was more of a scoring guard. But he showed this season that I will get off the pill. Yes, I will. I 100% will get off the pill. And with him doing that, I just saw how much better the Knicks were. It would have been great if the Knicks had their rotation. It's actually a miracle what they're doing right now, if we're being honest. What team in the playoffs, the Denver Nuggets, for example, are the Denver Nuggets in this space that they're in right now if Aaron Gordon, MPJ, and KCP are out the lineup? Are they where they are if Aaron Gordon, KCP, and MPJ are out the lineup? Then they're also missing Peyton. They're also missing Peyton Watson. Let's see, who else are they missing? Oh, they all not just Peyton Watson. They all not just Peyton Watson. They're also missing. Let's see. They're missing Reggie Jackson too. That's who they're missing. They're missing those 5 guys. Are the Denver Nuggets in the space that they're in right now missing those guys? I don't think so. I don't. So the fact that the Knicks have gone as far as they've gone is a testament to Brunson. Is a testament to Josh Hart. It's a testament to Hartenstein. It's a testament to it's a testament to what these dudes are doing. It's a testament to these dudes. So with that being said, I look at this Knicks team and anything that they do moving forward, it's nothing short of a miracle. Because I'm not sure that there's a team in the league. I'm not sure that there's a team. Tibbs too, absolutely, Dontavius. I'm not sure that there's a team in the league, even a championship team. When you lose your second best player and when you lose 3 of your 5 starters, and 2 of those 3 guys is your second best player in Julius Randle. You lose that. And you lose some of the best rotation players in the game. Because, by the way, if Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, and OG Anunoby are on the floor, that means Hartenstein, that means Josh Hart. Let's see, who else am I missing? Hartenstein, Josh Hart, and Precious Achiuwa go to the rotation. They're in the rotation now. Now Tibbs has a lot more to work with those guys. Like he doesn't have to just stick with Sims, Miles McBride, Alec Burke. Those aren't the guys that he has to stick with. Shake Milton, possibly. No, he's actually got a legitimate rotation to dig in the bench to go with. He's working on a shoestring budget right now. Because he's working on a shoestring budget, it's nothing short of a miracle of what he's been doing. Nothing short of that. So I applaud Tibbs. I applaud this Knicks team. I applaud this Knicks team. I applaud Tibbs. I think that they're going to win this series. I think it's going to be in 7, though. And I won't argue that. I do think that, but I think that their luck runs out when they play against the Celtics because I feel like the Celtics have too much. Now, mind you, they're going to get it. There's going to be a fight. 100%. There's going to be a fight. The Knicks aren't just going to roll over. And I think the Celtics know that. With the New York Knicks, I think the Celtics know that. But with that being said, I just don't think that they have enough. It's the same thing with Oklahoma City. The exact same thing with Oklahoma City. You look at this Oklahoma City team, you can be good. You can be good, but you ain't there yet. That could go on 100%. And I feel like Oklahoma City, I feel like as good as they are, they're just not there yet. And that's fine because they're in a great position right now. Chet still on his rook deal. J-Dub still on his rook deal. Kason Wallace still on his rook deal. Isaiah Joe, you got him on the cheap. You got Shea maxed out. All of these guys that you have, you're in a pretty good position right now. However, with Shea advancing the way he's advancing, with Chet turning into what he's turning into, with J-Dub getting better, the timeline got pushed up. The timeline got pushed up. Araton, one of two things is going on here with you. You have to be a 15-year-old kid or you're a troll. Or you're from three things. You're a 15-year-old kid, you're a troll, or you're from the Bronx. That has to be it. It has to be. There's no other way you cannot be those things and be realistic. There's no way. No way. You have to be from the Bronx or a troll or a kid. Because if you're from the Bronx, you're under the impression with you and two dudes, you could go to this neighborhood. You could go to this neighborhood knowing for a fact that the crew you're going to go up against, these dudes are going to stomp you out. And what you're going to try to do is you're going to try to go at their leader, and he's going to stomp you out. But you from the Bronx, so you're convinced that you could go up there and do it, and you're going to get stomped out. You're going to get stomped out. And I applaud the confidence. But the problem is that it's a little bit overblown, my man. It's just a little bit overblown. And with you and the Knicks, I applaud what the Knicks have done. I think their time runs out against this Boston Celtic team. Not because the Knicks are trash. No. Not because Brunson is whack. No. But because they've run out of time. That's it. That's just it. So, I don't think the Knicks, I think the Pacers stave off elimination tonight. I think that they go back to Madison Square Garden. I think Game 7 is Monday. I think they go back to Madison Square Garden and they and the Knicks end it. They end the Indiana Pacers season. And that's going to be it for the Indiana Pacers. That's 100% going to be it. Now, as far as Oklahoma City, just like the New York Knicks, when they get past Indiana, they ran out of time. They just ran out of time. You're not there yet. Not to say that you're not going to be there. You just ain't there yet. That's all. You're just not there yet. You will be there. I think you're going to be there. The Dallas Mavericks do a great job in. I feel like the Dallas Mavericks do a great job. Luka in particular. They do a great job when Luka is passing and getting the ball up the floor. The ball moves faster than people. Let's be clear on that. The ball moves faster than people. And when Luka is getting the ball up the floor, speeding up the Dallas Mavericks, they're much better. They're much better. And when he's scoring the way he's scoring, like he did in Game 5, they're much better. The defense collapses. That leaves guys like Derrick Jones Jr. wide open at the long ball line. That leaves P.J. Washington wide open at the long ball line. Because Luka is such an offensive presence. And he commands so much attention. Excuse me. He commands so much attention that it's not almost, it's impossible to ignore him. You have to help. You have to involve yourself in Luka. You become engulfed in Luka. So when Luka is getting downhill, when Luka is getting in the mid-range, when he operates in the post, you become completely focused on him. Rotations get thrown out. You got to double more when Luka. So with that being said, I think Dallas ends this tomorrow night. I don't think they smoke Oklahoma City, but I do think that they pull away from them. And I think they ultimately end it. The Western Conference Championship is Sunday between Minnesota. Game 7 is the Western Conference Championship. The winner of the Minnesota-Denver series wins the Western Conference Championship. I'm not on the fence about that. I'm not thinking maybe. I'm not thinking possibly. I think that's who is winning the West. I think that's who's going to represent the West in the NBA Finals. I'm sure of that. Now, how far they go in terms of winning the NBA championship, that remains to be seen. But we'll find out. And as you guys know, I deal in super chats. Teleran said, these Nuggets-Wolves games feel like Hagler-Hearns to me. Close fights where someone is going to get knocked out. The series is close, but each game is not. Yes, it is. Game 4 was close. Yes. Game 4 was close. I think Game 2 was close too. They pulled away late, but absolutely. Absolutely. But this series has been great. It's definitely been, I don't think it's been a middleweight. I don't think it's been a middleweight fight. It's definitely been a heavyweight fight. And to ask me if the Oklahoma City Thunder should go after Lauri Markkanen, I can tell you right now, don't think for 1 second if the Oklahoma City Thunder go after Lauri Markkanen, you're going to see the crew that you have. Because you know who the general manager is with the Utah Jazz? Green. Can you tell everybody here who the general manager is with the Utah Jazz? Just so everybody knows. Can you tell everybody here who the president of basketball operations is with the Utah Jazz? Go ahead. Mitch, I don't think there's people in the back that heard you. Right, Ainge. What do you think Ainge is going to want? What do you think Ainge is going to want for Lauri Markkanen? And by the way, Utah and Oklahoma City are in the same division. What do you think Ainge is going to want? I'm going to get to you in a second, Mitch, with your super chat. What do you think Ainge is going to want for Lauri Markkanen? You think draft picks are going to be enough? Because I can tell you right now they're not. We can dead that logic right now. What do you think he's going to want? Diaby, are you seriously saying not that much? He had an all-star on his crew. He got 4 first-round picks for Rudy Gobert. What do you think he's going to want for Lauri Markkanen? Are you crazy? Are you serious right now? I can't talk basketball with you. You don't know Danny Ainge. You clearly don't. You clearly don't know him. Mitch says, chill, rank your top 5 players in the playoffs so far. And also, would a Mavs Celtics finals look? What would a Mavs Celtics finals look like? A Mavs Celtics finals would look good. Yeah, it would. It definitely it would look really good. Top 5 players in the playoffs right now: Ant, Joker, Brunson, Shea, Tatum. Yep, those guys. Chet's been pretty awesome. Absolutely. I want to hear from you guys, though. Absolutely. I want to hear from you guys. What's on your mind? Yep. What is on your mind? Max, the day that you're ready to talk basketball with me, you'll come up here instead of sitting in the chat. The day that you're really ready to talk basketball with me, you'll come up here. Because there is no player that's been the best player on the best team in the league and been in the playoffs, and handled teams the way that they've handled teams, and is not one of the 5 best players in the playoffs. That has never happened. Get off your fandom. Get off of it. What up, D?
It sounded like you was speaking about the guy that's on his trajectory to become the most underrated player of all time.
Can you believe that, yo?
I really do. I think his team situation kind of had people like sleeping on him a little bit. I said this the other day. Like, out of all the great wings that like had the same archetype, like the same kind of player, like the style of play that he played, like. He does everything on the court, but he really a scorer. That's the way he play.
Yep.
Like Kevin Durant, Melo, Paul Pierce, like he gets underrated because like when has anybody ever had this level of winning, made consistent deep playoff runs with a dude that does the same thing you do? Like Jaylen Brown, even though he's great, he takes a lot of opportunities away from him. They play the same, not the same way, but they both scores. Like, and he's consistently, because I think his game's so portable. Like, he fits with anybody to me because he does everything.
Like, Jason Tatum has become D. He's become that fine chick that now everybody don't think she that good looking because this 1 or 2 people been talking about her and they've been hearing it so much that now, well, wait a minute, maybe she ain't that good looking. When in reality, she always been fine as hell. Yeah. Always. Yeah. But now all of a sudden, like this poison has been in people, and now, you know what, she ain't really that fine. Matter of fact, her nose kind of big, and the way she talk, when this never been a problem. Never has been a problem. Now all of a sudden, she ain't all that. Yeah, she's always been all that.
Yeah, we just got that 22 finals thing. That's all. We just I hope we can get one so they can get our my boy back.
They're not gonna be able to do it, D. And you know why they're not gonna be able to do it? Because if y'all do it, which I do think you're gonna do it, but if you do it, it's gonna be he was on a bomb squad. He was on a bomb squad. That's what it was.
And the fact show, over his whole career, they don't play the same. They don't play nearly to the same level when he's not on the floor. I seen something yesterday. Since 2020, for this whole little era, he got the highest win percentage of any player in the NBA.
History.
From just this decade, 2020 to 2024, all the current players. Mm-hmm. He got the best win percentage in the NBA.
From all of them dudes.
Yeah.
All of them. Which is kind of crazy considering, I mean, it's his 6th time. I think this is 5th time in 7 years.
7 years.
Which we don't really we don't really talk too much about the Eastern Finals anymore. And the reason why we don't talk about it as much is because
wanted to get the title.
Yeah, now you got to win it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now we're in a space where you have to win it.
Yeah, we gotta make something straight.
Yes, you got to win it now. And I think Jason Tatum, if I'm not mistaken, let's see, over the last 4 games. I think over the last 4 games,
Averaging
I think he averaging something like 27,
30, 11, and 7.
something like that, like 30, like 20, 28, 11, and 8, something crazy like that. Now, if the best player, like if we got a team in the league, right? We got a team in the league right now where where the number 1 seed, their best player is 29, 11, and 7, and they smoking everybody.
Yeah.
But we not looking at him like, yeah, you ain't really all that. When have we ever done that? When have we ever done that?
And then this is consistent too. He did it last year in the playoffs too, and it was like, I was like, man, he just ain't getting the love from everybody. But I really think if this is the way that the Celtics should use him, I hate the way they use him. I think, man, you talked about this before, like just icing him out of games. They have him sitting in the corner sometimes. And I feel like, to me, though, while he had, early in the play, he was kind of struggling a little bit. I was like, man, it's just like you got to use him. Like he ain't a role player. Like he's your guy.
I don't like him sitting in the corner the way he does. I don't. I really don't. That makes me nuts.
TJ McConnell, I think TJ McConnell had a higher usage rate than him up until.
Does that even make sense to you? TJ McConnell. Right?
TJ McConnell.
Right?
I seen it. It was TJ McConnell had the 17th highest usage rate. And Tatum was 19. The best basketball I ever seen Jason Tatum play, to me, in my personal opinion, like in a playoff setting, we know, the playoff setting gonna mean more because what's at stake. So it's got to be a playoff setting. To me, the best basketball I ever seen Jason Tatum play was that 3-game stretch last year when they went down 0-3. And the reason why I say I think they was fine with trade Marcus Smart. Jason Tatum growth as a passer and playmaker over the years made Marcus Smart expendable. Yeah,
it's gotten a lot better.
And that's
if you just look at the numbers alone, and again, I'd like to, you know me, I'm not just a numbers guy. I also go off what I see too.
Mm-hmm.
And if the best player on the best team in the league at that particular time in the playoffs, his team is mopping everybody. We're in the Eastern, we're in the conference finals, and in the conference finals, over the last 4 games, going into the conference finals over the last 4 games, I'm 29, 10, and 8.
Yeah.
And we talking about you like, yeah, you've been playing okay. But the other dude on your crew better than you. We don't do that nowhere, D.
They get everybody else get out because of him. Like, I ain't hit nobody.
Don't do that nowhere.
All respect to Derrick White. I ain't hit nobody checking for him before he was a Celtic. I ain't hit nobody talking about him.
He was good in San Antonio. Hence returned good.
Yeah. Over here, I seen the other day, what's the guy named Jalen on y'all on Players Tour? He talking about he better than Jalen Brown. Like, hold on now. Like, come on now.
It's stuff like that take years off my life, yo.
I'm like, he
great. You know where to find me at, brother. So I tell you, this is what you do, Max. Okay? This is what I want you to do, Max. I want you to trade Josh Hart for Jason Tatum. Do that. How about that? Trade Josh Hart for Jason Tatum. That's how we get to the bottom of that. Because you bringing this up, you'll come on my page and you'll come on my channel and you'll say stuff like, this guy is the best player in the Eastern Conference. This guy is the best player on their team. So do this. You think Josh Hart is playing better than Jason Tatum? Trade him. No. Do not. No. That's not why you brought this up. You are an avid hater of Jason Tatum. So with that being said, trade him. Trade Josh Hart for Jason Tatum. Do it. Do it. I'm asking you, brother. You do it. Trade Jalen Brunson for Jason Tatum. Do it. Trade Jaylen Brown for Jason Tatum. Do it. Go ahead. You are going to be fired as a GM. You're going to be. And you're going to be fired. You know why? Because you're listening to other people. That's why. Not because you actually believe that. Not because you actually can back up not just with the data, but with his not just with the data, but with his actual game and what you see, you are listening to other people. And you, sir, as a GM, you're gonna be fired. You're gonna get straight fired. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't feel bad for you. I would be one of those dudes in front of Madison Square Garden with the picket signs like, yo, fire Max. Get Max out of here. Max needs to be fired. Max has to go. Why? Because you don't have what they have. You don't have what they have without him doing what he's doing. So again, if you think Jason Tatum is better than Josh Hart, say that. Jason Tatum is better than Josh Hart. Say that. Say that. Go ahead. Jason Tatum is better than Josh Hart. Go ahead, say it. Say it. Say it. Say it. Say it. He's a better player than Jason Tatum. Say it. Say it, Max. Say it. Say it. Leaf, you hold the hell on, Leaf. Say it. Say it. Do you think Josh Hart is better than Jason Tatum? Bingo. We got a winner. Okay. Now we good. What up?
I think that was foolish. That was some tomfoolery right there. Obviously, Josh Hart is not better than Jason Tatum. I think a lot of people is better than Jason Tatum, but not Josh Hart ain't one of them. I'm not going crazy.
Now remember, this is why I have a difficult time, Lee, with this playing better logic. Because last I checked, Chauncey Billups played better than Kobe Bryant in the NBA Finals.
In the NBA Finals, yes.
So is Chauncey Billups? Is he?
No,
are we doing that?
Absolutely.
Are you sure, Leaf?
Who do you think you're talking to, bro?
I'm just saying, Leaf. I mean, Tony Parker played better than James. Tony Parker played better than James in the finals in 2007. Are we doing that?
Do I clown you in the chat at all, bro? The reason why I'm saying this to you. Do I look like Brax on one of these people, man?
The reason why I'm saying this is because I want you to hear how ridiculous this sounds. I don't think you hear how ridiculous it sounds.
I done heard ridiculous stuff from you. I done said ridiculous stuff, man. So I mean, listen.
I just want to make sure you hear it. That's all. I just want to make sure that you hear it.
It ain't the most ridiculous shit I ever heard, bro. Like, I mean, listen. I'm gonna just leave it at that, man. Did you happen to go to your cousin who played in the 90s with that same bullshit that you were selling me yesterday about Joker versus the 90s Center? Because that's what I was going to ask you before you left, bro. Like, what?
We can get to the bottom of that right now.
I mean, I know he hated Alonzo Mourning, bro. I know he hates Alonzo Mourning. I know he hates a lot of them guys from the 90s, but I don't know if he's crazy enough. I don't know if he's wild enough to say that Joker can go in the 90s, that Joker on his own merit with no Mike Malone and no Jamal Murray and no Aaron Gordon could just walk into the 90s and just do whatever he did to Rudy Gobert to them dudes. I'm not. That's my way of getting down the bottom. Is just ask your cousin. Was he?
Why wouldn't he be able to do that?
I already told you why. I mean, why?
And it's so unfair too. By the way, your logic is so unfair. So we take.
Why is my logic so unfair?
So we taking Mike Malone
because this is what you suppose. You said Joker. You didn't say the 2024 Denver Nuggets. You didn't say Joker with Jamal Murray. You didn't say Joker with Aaron Gordon. You didn't say Joker with MPJ.
Okay, so now we're being specific. So now we're being specific. Sure. Okay. No problem. No problem, Lee. You want to be specific? You want to have this conversation? Absolutely. Let's have this conversation. So take Lonzo Mourning away from Pat Riley. Take Dikembe Mutombo away from who was that? I forgot who the head coach was in Denver. Take him away from him. Take him away from Lenny Wilkins. Take not just him, take Patrick Ewing away from Pat Riley. Now what we're doing is we're just going player for player, all four of these dudes. These are the three dudes that I brought in. These are the three dudes that I brought in. Joker's skill set does not change. So why wouldn't he be able to do what he was doing back then? Why?
If Joker's skill set doesn't change, bro, then why is it that a 34-year-old Dwight Howard was able to contain him in 2020?
Are you saying that 2020 Dwight? Are you saying that 2020 Joker is the same as 2024 Joker? Because that's what we're talking about. We're being specific. Is that correct?
Are you saying that?
No, Lee.
Are you saying that? I'm doing the same shit you're doing.
No, you're not. You're being no, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not.
I'm gonna tell you off.
I'm straight, Lee. I'm good on you, Lee. This is bullshit. You full of it, Lee. You full of it. I'm good. I'm good on you, Leaf. You full of it. It's incredible how when one guy is one way and another guy is another way. We're not talking about anything but today. I'm not going to say that Michael Jordan from 1988 is the same Michael Jordan from 1992. I'm going to put those two guys together. I'm not saying Hakeem Olajuwon from 1995 is the same Olajuwon in 1991. I'm not going to put those two guys together. I'm not going to do that. Just like Joker from 2020 is not the same Joker from 2024. There's a reason why he won the league MVP 3 times in 4 years. There's a reason why he became such a much better player than what he was. And it wasn't just the system. It wasn't. No way. It was not just the system. How am I going to put a guy 4 years before the same as today? How am I going to do that? How am I going to do that? There's no way that I'm doing that. Joker from 2020, who was, last I checked, in 2022, in 2023, he's 35 pounds lighter. He's better in transition. He's smarter. That 34-year-old Dwight Howard against Joker in 2024, you still think he's doing the same thing? Because that would mean that Joker is still the same guy that he was 4 years ago. That's absolutely what it means. There's no other way for me to comprehend that except to think that he's got to be the same dude. There's no way for me to think that with that he's the same dude. If he's the same dude, then that point is valid. Is Joker in 2020 the same guy he is in 2024? If you think so, Alabama, then that point is valid. If you think that Joker in 2024 is the same player he was when he saw Dwight Howard in the bubble in the Western Conference Finals, then your point is valid. Then it is. 100% it is. I don't think so. But if you think so, then your point is valid. I will. What time is the game tonight, by the way? Let me ask Siri. Siri, what's going on in the NBA tonight? Really quickly, guys. Hold on.
Here's what I found.
What did you find, Siri? You didn't find anything.
Unless there's something else I can help with.
Yes, Siri. I'd like for you to tell me who's playing in the NBA. What games are going on in the NBA tonight, Siri? Siri, what is the NBA schedule tonight?
The Pacers face the Knicks in Game 6 of the conference semifinals at 8:30 p.m. The Knicks lead the series 3-2.
Thank you, Siri. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
That's all I asked. That was it. That was all I asked. I'm sure I was pretty clear on what I asked for. So I'm going to catch this Knicks game. I'm interested to see what happens. I am. I don't think that the Knicks win tonight. I think they ended in Madison Square Garden. I think the game's Monday. I think Game 7 is Monday. I think they ended in New York on Monday night. And I'm going to play back tomorrow night. I'm doing the Dallas-Oklahoma City game tomorrow night. I'm not doing anything tonight. I might poke my head in there to see what's going on. But other than that, I'm not doing any of that other stuff. So it's about that time for me, though. It's good to see you guys tonight. As you know, if I'm not here, you know where to find me at. If I'm not here, I do TikTok weekdays from Monday to Friday. And if I'm not doing that, I'm on the panel from 11 to 2. If I'm not there, this is where I am. Chilltown Hoops. I'm live. And I'm going to get back to giving my takes on games. I'm going to get back to doing that. I haven't done that in a long time, but I'm going to get back to doing that. Did I read all my super chats? I got to make sure I read all my super chats. Let's see here. Yep, I did read that one. I did not read this one where I said, do you think KD would work on this Oklahoma City team? I do not want KD next to any of my kids. No, I don't. Nope. I'm good on KD. I'm not interested in KD coming near any of my kids. I feel the way I feel about KD in Oklahoma City is the same way I felt about Carmelo Anthony. Not that Carmelo Anthony was a bad player, because I felt like Carmelo Anthony was great, but they're doing something in Oklahoma City, and I don't want to screw it up with KD. I don't want to do that, and I will not do that. Mitch said, JT had a rough time scoring, but his last 3 games offensively have been great. He's been great with his playmaking, passing, defense, and rebounding. I think the last 4 games, Mitch, I think he's averaging 29, 10, and 8 in his last 4 games. He's been fantastic. He's been absolutely fantastic. And also Swiper saying Tatum hasn't gotten the coverages the way Ant did in Game 4 was one of the dumbest things I've heard all year. Well, I think we got to the bottom of that. And we got to the bottom of that off the strength that we had to recognize that with Mike Conley off the floor, he's going to get doubled. And with him getting doubled, he's going to get different. He's not going to be able to have the same opportunities as opposed to with Mike Conley on the floor. When Mike Conley was on the floor yesterday, when he got doubled, what happened? Mike Conley knocked down shots. Well, you can't double off Mike Conley anymore. You got to use somebody else to double team Anthony Edwards. And when you do that, now you're leaving somebody else open, which they were doing with Jaden McDaniels, and he was knocking down shots. So those were the different looks that he got. But it's about that time for me, guys. It was good to see you guys. I will see you guys soon. But until then, take it light. Take it. Absolutely. It was good to see you guys tonight. No doubt.